Hi everybody, welcome to the Matrix Fitness live workout. My name's Gleed, and I'm just going to start loosening the body up a little bit. We're ready for our workout. This is the last one of it today, so if you've been checking out the workouts earlier and now is the time for you to do your workouts, then please come and join us. We are going to be kicking off in around about a minute's time, or just under. During that time, we will then have 3 rounds of workouts. This is hopefully becoming a bit familiar with some of you. There'll be 3 rounds. Each round we do twice. So that way then the 3 exercises, the first time that you see them, you can get used to the exercise, and then the second time you can really try and push yourself, either taking a progression, or if you find that you're struggling at any time, then please just try and hold that base standard of movement that we're looking for. During the workout, the first round is going to be focused on the legs, then it will be the core, and then it will be the upper body. Things that you'll need during this workout are going to be a mat, a towel or a hoodie, something to place on the floor so that when you are pushing yourself against the floor, it's a little bit more comfortable for you. Also grab yourself a drink if that's something you're going to need as well, maybe a towel. So other than that, we've got minimal equipment really needed. Let's make a start and let's just get you moving on the spot to begin with. So just bring your knees up nice and high. Just want to create a little bit of mobility between your ankles, knees and hips. I just want you to start swinging your arms so that your shoulders and your elbows start to get some motion in those joints as well. Now, if you can, just start to bring your knees up a little bit more and just start to alternate. So I'm just taking a couple of steps back and then a high knee up. And what I want to do here is I want to, one, get your heart rate up a little bit higher, but also just start to get you to feel like your muscles are being engaged a little bit more. We've got a lot of exercises to get through, and each exercise we do, we want to be ready for. So just starting to get those knees up a little bit higher. Okay, now what I want you to do here is almost like imagine you've got a skip rope. So grab your hands, just get yourself moving on the spot. Now, one of the exercises is going to involve skipping. So again, no rope needed, just mimic that. So what we're going to be doing is getting you to move from side to side. Now, the reason we're starting you moving from side to side is just to get a little bit more proprioception in feet. What this will do is it'll start to get more nerve endings fired up and getting them to engage the muscles, which means that you will then be able to hopefully hold a little bit better stability, but also be able to push off the floor, engaging all your muscles, which will give you a better workout as well. Now just have a go at moving your feet forwards and backwards as well. If you want to still be jumping that rope, you can do, but moving your feet forwards and backwards in almost like a scissoring position. Again, this is just starting to work the muscles and to get your body ready for the workout coming up as well. What about a little bit of a twist side to side? So we can call these moguls, where you just start to move from side to side, just allowing your hips and your knees and your feet to all rotate one way and your arms the opposite. This just gets a little bit of firing up into different muscles yet again, but also gets your heart rate up a little bit more. Now check this out, we're going to do a few punches. It's going to be jab, cross, jab, jump 180 degrees, jab, cross, jab, jump 180, okay? And then just keep throwing those arms going forwards. And what we're looking for here is just to start to get your upper body to become a little bit more active, especially because in that last round of today's workout, we have got upper body focused exercises. So we've got some press ups, some tricep dips, and we've got a row exercise as well, which will be a little bit different than what some of you have been used to doing in the gyms as well. Okay, now what I want you to do this time is just take a half squat for me. So just lower your hips down and come back up. Now it's not about the depth on this one. I want a little bit of speed in your legs here. So get your hips moving down towards your heels and just start to move a little bit quicker. It might get your heart rate up. You might find yourself a little bit breathless. That is the goal. We want to get all these muscles activated so that in a couple of minutes time, we can then start to fire straight into some of these intense exercises to give you the best workout we can, all within half an hour. And that includes the cool down as well. Okay, now check this out. We're going to take a large step over towards the side. Here's where you're going to get a stretch for your thigh. Take your weight over onto your bent leg, step across, give me a little squat. Let's take it back to the opposite side. So a large step, stretching through the thigh, feet together, a little bit of a squat. So now you know it, let's get you moving. Try and travel as far as you feel comfortable, but at the same time, we want you to get a little bit of a stretch. So take your time if you need to, starting to get those muscles to be ready for the workout ahead. Now believe me, I've done this a couple of times already today, so we want to make sure that you are ready to get the most out of the workout. If you've been at home working, or you've just been running around doing little bits around the house, if this is your chance to try and push yourself for half an hour of the day, then let's take advantage of it and prepare your body for what you're about to do. Okay, give me some jumping jacks, nice and wide. Hands coming around about shoulder height. just so again we can get the heart rates up. Now I've got an option for you. You start taking your arms up a little bit higher overhead, it's going to push your heart rate up a little bit more. It's a bigger action, all adds to calorie burning as well. So this is where you're going to push yourself a little bit more from expending a little bit more energy. Good. Now keep this going. What we're going to do is we're going to go back to that lunge, but this time instead of a squat, we're going to take a little jump. So lunge across and push yourself off. Lunge across, push yourself off. Now the reason why we're spending a bit more time moving side to side is because we've got an exercise which is going to be requiring a little bit of work moving from side to side. It's called speed skater, and that's going to be the second exercise that we're going to be doing. So let me show you the first exercise. In 10 seconds time, you're going to do this for 45 seconds. Hands come down onto the floor. I want you to jump your feet out and then jump your feet back into your hands so your knees come outside of the elbows. Let's go. 45 seconds. Try and push yourself into that jump. Now, if you can, look up. The benefit of looking up when you jump your feet in is your back stays straighter. And by doing that, it allows your spine to be in a bit more of a neutral position. If you keep your head down, you can see my back is all curved, and that's not the great position you want to be into. So just straighten it up a little bit more is going to be your goal here. Okay, for 15 seconds more. If you feel like you're not quite ready for this deep position, or you're getting tired, that's fine. You can always walk it out and walk it back in as an option as well. 5 seconds to go, 2, 1. Okay, 15 seconds recovery. Now we're going to go for the speed skaters. Check this out. You push from one side and then over to the opposite. Every time you push over from one side, see how you bring your feet together. What I don't want to see you do is start to let the foot rotate behind. It causes a rotational knee. Not the best thing to be doing, okay? Let's go for this. 45 seconds. Start to use your arms to drive from side to side. Try and keep yourself in an athletic stance the whole time. When you push yourself off from that side, try and give it as much angle and dynamic movement as possible. So try and almost sink into the leg. So that way then you start to tone up the glutes a little bit more. That also just pushes the heart rate. These are some major muscles in the body, and it's great to keep them active. So especially if you've been sat down all day in front of a desk, maybe you've been entertaining the kids, but we've really got to try and get you to work these muscles to keep the stability in your hips. Let's just do one more. Okay, 15 seconds recovery. Now, remember we talked about the skipping in our warm-up. Here's how it's going to work. 10 imaginary skips, or alternatively, you can do that for 10 seconds. Then it's going to be a lunge back, and then we repeat that cycle. Okay, let's give it a go. 45 seconds. Now from this position, deep lunge back, where the back knee drops down towards the floor, and you're trying to keep your back nice and straight. Good, this should be getting your heart rates up a little bit more. Let's go again. Deep into that lunge. Now don't worry about keeping time with me. It's all about you and your workout. Give it the best that you can give. Try and challenge yourself in a way that is comfortable for you. Taking that lunge. I'll give you options because we will be coming back and doing these exercises a second time. But this is where you could go into a jumping lunge if you wanted to. So making that power lunge recruits a lot more muscle fibers, and you really have to almost de-accelerate the speed, weight, and momentum of your body. That's why body weight exercises are so good as well. Okay, shaking out. That's your first 3 exercises. Sumo squats, speed skaters, and then skipping with the lunge. Let's get you ready. Round 1. Just repeat it. Hands down by the floor, or on the floor. Shoulders over your hands, let's jump it out, and back in again. Remember, the eyes are looking upwards every single time you jump in to try and give us that straight spine. And just trying to really make that hip movement a really dynamic position as well. You've got the options of walking out and walking in if you need it. But if you can keep that jumping movement, that's where the goal intensity is going to be. And that's how we can give you the best workout possible. So drive your knees in and out. Eyes looking straight ahead if you can. Just 15 seconds of work to go. Keep pushing yourself where the legs get tired. But this is where the fitness gains really come in. Try and do as much as you can. Last one. Good, okay, shake the legs out. Woo, speed skaters. Push over from one side to the other. Let's get you ready for this. Try and make it dynamic. Don't let the foot cross over. And if we can, let's sink a little bit lower into this position. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Push off from side to side. Make it dynamic. You can see I'm using my arms to drive movement, but it also helps create that little bit of an athletic stance, which means that I can control and counterbalance my body weight as I move from side to side. And that's really good. It means that we can control the speed of what we're doing by working the muscles, but they have to work a little bit harder. Keep this going, keep it going, keep it going. We'll give you a little bit of recovery just around the corner, 15 seconds of work to go. Can we push a little bit further from side to side? Try and work it a little bit more. Keep going, keep pushing. Push, 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 right down, keep low. And relax there, okay. Woo. Skipping to lunges, okay? 10 skips or 10 seconds, whatever you feel most comfortable with, then the lunge. Now you can jump the lunge or you can just step it back. It's up to you, okay? 5 seconds before we go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Skipping, on the spot, get on the toes. Now let's take it back to the lunge. So drop into that lunge if you've got that in your locker. If not, it's just a nice steady step back where you keep control. It can be here. There it is. 10 jumps. And then into those lunges. If you want to do longer on the skipping, that's absolutely fine. Your workout, you keep it going where you want it to be. You pick the intensity, you get the goals from the, whatever you want to achieve. Dropping into that powerful lunge is totally your option. I want to make sure that's really clear, because that way then it's not my fault if you feel a little bit sore and achy tomorrow because you've worked hard. That's my disclaimer for you. Okay, shake up the legs. 15 seconds breather, then we're going down to the floor. So grab a mat if you've got one nearby. If not, use a towel, maybe a jumper, something that'll just soften it out. We're doing V-sits to begin with. So arms above your head, legs out straight. Breathe out as you reach up. Inhale as you lower yourself back down. Every single repetition we go into, I want you to keep control. And I want you to almost steadily lower yourself down. Reach high, slowly lower yourself back. And let's go again. Good. Breathe out as you reach. Breathe in as you lower yourself back down. Now, if you're finding this is a struggle, you can always shorten your limbs. So it could be knees to elbows, if that's what you need it to be. Same focus though, breathe out as you come up, breathe in as you lower yourself down. Last 10 seconds, let's try and challenge you if you can, but make it attainable. Last one, and relax there. Okay, now, next exercise is going to be a side plank. So we're going to roll onto your side, feet stacked upon each other, up into a side plank, arms reach, and you're going to crunch your arm and your leg in together. Starting in 3, 2, let's go. Bring your arm in and reach the arm up above the head. So knee and elbows come together. Keep thinking about pushing your hips high. Now what we're going to be doing is, because it's for 45 seconds, we're going to do 20 seconds on one side and a really quick change over in 5 seconds and then over to the opposite side. So the last ones, and let's swap. Straight over to the opposite side, quick transition. Feet stacked, up we go, side plank, knee and elbow, and then reach again. Big, big, big range of movement. Keep pushing your hips up. We've got just over 10 seconds to go. I'm a big fan of doing planks for a short time, but making them as hard as possible in that time as well. Get the last couple of repetitions, keep breathing, and relax there. Superman is the next exercise. Hands underneath your shoulders, feet onto the floor, knees underneath the hips, opposite arm and leg, lift up and reach out in front of you, okay? And then we alternate from one side to the other. Let's go for this. Now the benefit of this exercise is it's much more about core control. It's about extending the arm and almost challenging your position of the body. It's a great core exercise, and it's a really good position to really start to strengthen up for the lower back. Now after doing all those jumping lunges, the skipping, this is really good to allow your heart rate to come back down, allow your breathing to come back to you, but then at the same time, we get to work on the core, which so often gets neglected as well. I'm seeing a lot of exercises out there being done where everyone is blasting themselves as hard as possible, but it's all about control at the same time. There's a reason to do both. And relax there. Okay, V-sits are next. Let's get you onto your backs again. Arms out, legs out. Keep your body long. Exhale as you reach up. Inhale as you lower yourself back down. Try and look up towards the ceiling. Thinking about keeping your chin away from your chest slightly, so you are lifting up towards the ceiling rather than just throwing yourself forwards and back down. The arms might travel in that direction, but actually the chin and chest reach upwards. So they come up as your hands come forwards. That's what we're looking for. Okay? Good. Just over 25 seconds to go. Remember, slow control on the way back down. It's one thing to get yourself up into that position, but to control yourself on the way back down, that's where the core really gets engaged. It's almost having to lower those long levers of legs down towards the floor, and that's where the core really gets a really good burn, a workout, and really get some good tone and strength work being done as well. Okay, let's go into our side planks. So, feet stacked upon each other, elbow underneath your shoulder. We're going to reach you up into a side plank position. From there, knee to elbow, okay? Remember, it's going to be 20 seconds on one side, 5-second transition, straight over to the opposite. Let's go. Reach the arm, reach the leg, trying to create as much length as you can. Keeping the body as long as possible. Keep extending that arm overhead as you reach your leg out towards the sides, and keeping yourself getting challenged. Just give it 5 or 6 seconds here. And quick transition over to the opposite side. Let's go straight in. Good. That's the quickest transition you've done on that. That's great. Reach those arms and legs. Keep the body long. Keep yourself being challenged all the time. It's all about reaching and lengthening through the body. Keep pushing the hips up high. That's always a key factor. So we've got to maintain a good stance of the plank here. And relax there. Okay. Superman position. So hands on the floor, knees on the floor, opposite arm, opposite leg extend out in front of you. And that's where we go from here, okay? Let's get you ready. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Opposite arm, opposite leg reaches out in front of you. Good. Excellent. Now just keep that control. Keep a long range of movement, extending through the arm, extending through the leg. Good. Now when you're doing this one again, take your time. It's a core exercise, and I'm always a big fan of keeping the core exercises well controlled. There might be a big range of movement, but it's much better to push your heel away, really lengthen and stretch through these muscles before you lower them back down. Reset yourself if you need to. Just be mindful about whether that spine is straight or not, and then extend over to the opposite side. Nice, good. Last one. Good, okay. Right, let's get those mats away. We have got the T press up coming up next. So this is where we're going to get you down onto the floor to do a press up and then open it up into a T position. Here's what it's going to look like. Big push up here, and then reach your arm up, come back to the center, and then over to the opposite side. Now you can do these on your knees if you need to, but just be mindful that unless you come back up to your toes, it can be quite hard to do the rotation on your knees. Your knees almost need to pivot a little bit. So sometimes it's best to come up onto the toes. Just pause into that plank position for a second, then bring yourself back down and lower yourself back down towards the floor again. And then just alternate from one side to the other. Good. And then reach over to the opposite side. 10 seconds of work to go. Then we're going to go for the tricep dips. And they can be done on the floor, like I will do in the first round. Or the other option, if you want to do tricep dips on the sofa or on a chair, hands this over the front. Lower your hips down and push yourselves back up again, okay? So you've got a few options. I'll do them on the floor from the beginning, then I'm going to jump into that chair again, okay? So fingertips pointed towards your hips, lower your body back, push yourself with straight arms, okay? So think about bending at the elbow, and then extending your arms and lifting your head up towards the ceiling again. Really important when you're doing tricep dips that you think about keeping your shoulders away from your ears. So if your shoulders are starting to reach up a little bit higher towards your ears, think about putting them back and down. Think about getting your shoulder blades back down as if they're heading towards your bum. And then that keeps them in a good, stable position. Okay, last 15 seconds, just going to transition onto the sofa if you need it. Here they are. Okay, last 8 seconds. Try and wrap out these as many as you can do. And then relax there. Okay, now the next exercise is a renegade row. Here's what this one's going to be. Press up position, and you bring the hand in towards the chest, extend back down, and then you alternate from one side to the other. Okay, So it's very much about maintaining the stability in the hips. Let's go for this. 45 seconds of work. Lift the hand up towards your shoulder and then alternate with slow, controlled movement. It's actually quite like just holding a plank position. It's where you've got to hold and support yourself by your shoulder and your back, but yet you've got to use your chest muscles and a lot more of the core muscles to almost hold that really strong position as well. So it can be a really challenging exercise. Good work. Keep control there. 15 seconds of work to go. Then we'll do all 3 of those exercises again, and that will complete our last round, and then we'll go into our cool down. I've got some really nice yoga stretches in there for you today. Okay, right, let's swap that over. So, a T press up is an option. If you want to use your mat, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to use mine this time. Okay, so T position on the press up. Let's go. Lower your body down towards the floor, and then extend yourself up. Hold that tall T position, back down to the center, and then over to your opposite side. Try and get a nice bit of depth. So you really lower yourself down towards the floor, and then open up your arm. Keep that work going. That's great. Nice big range here. Lower yourself down again. Good. Well over halfway. Remember, the option is to do on your knees if you need to, and then come up onto your feet when you pivot into that T position, just because it's easier. I always find. The other option is stay on one knee and extend the leg out. That could be another option as well for you. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, tricep dips are coming up next. So we've got the option on the floor that we did earlier. That's where your hands are going to be facing towards your hips. If you're going to be on the seat or on the sofa, hands are either side of your thighs. In 4, 3, let's go. Tricep dips. Push these out now. Be strong in those movements. It's as many reps as you can do, but it's got to be about good quality as well. So if you're relying on your legs to get you in and out of those positions, that's not going to be the best form of exercise. So really try to think about the depth going down and the shoulders staying back and down as well. Okay? So think quality. Always takes me back to when I used to do a lot of circuit training in sports halls. When I first started as a personal trainer, we used to have 40, 50 people in a big sports hall, and all those people doing exercise, you might have like 10 people all doing tricep dips at the same time. We used to burn the arms a lot. But when you've got a group of people doing them with you, it kind of keeps you going. You might have to shake out your arms a few times, but it's a tough exercise to be done. Okay, renegade row, last exercise. Then we get into our cool down as well. So hand comes up towards the chest and then back down again. Shake out those arms. We're in 5, 4, 3. Hands underneath your shoulders, up into a plank position. Lift the hand towards your shoulder. Place it back down underneath your body. And then we alternate from one side to the other. This is good. You've got to keep it controlled. Keep working well. Keep breathing on this one. Holding your breath is not going to help you. It only kind of gives you a little bit of bracing in between the ribs. But then as soon as you then do need to breathe, you almost have to break that diaphragmatic position. So it's important that you find a place where you can breathe in and out while you're still maintaining that nice controlled movement. And relax there, team. Good job. Okay. Shake out those arms a little bit. That will all work, especially at the end there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take you into a couple of yoga positions here. Up dog, down dog. There will be a runner stretch and also a swan or a pigeon pose as well. Gets named a few different things, depending on the intensity that you work into. Hands underneath your shoulders, up into a press-up position. Lower your hips down towards the floor. Look up high for me. And then if you want to, you can rest your knees on the floor. You can even turn your toes out. Just feel that stretch through the front of the hips. Also that really big extension coming out through the spine. Tuck your toes under. Push your hips up into the air. And just hold that downward facing dog position. Now you can always walk your feet in. You can bend your knees. But you are trying to straighten your spine. Bringing your head in between your arms. And if you want to just walk your heels a little bit. There's been a lot of skipping. Been a fair bit of jumping. So it's important to stretch the calves. Let's go into up dog again. So lower your hips down. You can rest the knees onto the floor. Lift your chin and chest up high. You get a nice extension through the spine. And tuck the toes under. The downward facing dog position. Now check this out. I'm going to lift one foot up and I'm going to swing it up to my hand. and then I'm going to reach my hand up into the air. Now as I reach into that position, push the back heel away. So you get a really big dynamic stretch. It's a great stretch for working through the front hip, but also as you rotate, get a nice rotation into your spine as well. It's called the world's greatest running stretch. It's a brilliant stretch here. Let's swap it over to the opposite side with a downward facing dog in the middle. And then reach yourself up again. This is great. A nice big rotation. Push the back heel away. Now bring your hand back down in front of you. Downward facing dog. Now this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring one foot, instead of it coming to the outside of the hand, it's going to go across your body to the opposite side. Okay, and then you're going to rest yourself down towards the stretch here. You can place your hand where you feel as if you're comfortable. You can sit yourself up. You can keep the hands on the floor, wherever you feel the most comfortable. So the goal here is to bring one foot across the body, and if your shin is parallel to where your hands are, that's a really nice position. We'll work with wherever your body gets to, and we'll swap it over to the opposite side. If I just pivot around a little bit here, you'll be able to see I'm using one of my fingertips here just to give me a little bit more height. That allows this hip to come down towards the floor, get a nice really long stretch into this one as well. Okay, now just take that, let's take into a little bit of a groin stretch. So we're going to sit with the soles of your feet together. Just take hold of them if you'd like to. Think about your knees going out towards the sides. Sit nice and tall. Try and lengthen up for your spine. That's good. Really nice. What we're going to do is bring yourself up to a standing position. So slowly bring yourself up. We're going to stretch through your quads. So what I'd like you to do is just take hold of one foot. Bring your knees together. Bit of a standing position here. So if you need to hold on to something to help keep your balance, that's absolutely fine. Try and push your foot into the palm of your hand. And then swap that over. Give it a little shake as we swap over to the opposite side. Hold that nice deep stretch. Think about pushing the foot into the palm of your hand, pushing your hip forward. You get a nice little stretch of that hip flexor again. Nice. Okay, just shake that out. Take your hands behind you. They link and bind together. Then lift your chin and chest tall, squeezing your shoulder blades together. And see if you can take your hands away from the lower part of your back. Good. Now from here, we're going to go into a tricep stretch. So reach your arm up and over. Get a long, tall tricep stretch here. Try and reach down your hands, down your back. And if you want to, you can link your hands together. Let's swap it over to the opposite side. Now I'm aware that everyone's got different available flexibility and mobility in their body, so wherever your stretches get you to, that's absolutely fine. Just about working on some of your weaknesses sometimes, so just shake those arms out. Thank you very much for joining us. We will see you next week, 7:45, 12 o'clock, and 5 o'clock in the evening. And that's on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Good luck, everybody. Have a nice weekend.